President Trump says he has instructed the Defense Department to begin testing nuclear weapons. In a message posted on social media, Trump said it's a response to other countries testing their weapons. He specifically pointed to Russia and China in the post and said the process of new U.S. nuclear weapons tests would begin immediately. Sarakshi Rai, Deputy Managing Editor here at The Hill, joins me to discuss. Hey, Sarakshi, so is Trump talking about testing delivery systems for nuclear weapons, or is he actually talking about detonating a nuclear weapon?
So that, Drew, is unclear. We don't know from the president's post if he means nuclear capable or nuclear weapons. And Trump's announcement also did not make it clear whether he was referring to testing a nuclear explosion or simply a weapon system that would be capable of delivering a nuclear weapon. And there really hasn't been a clarification yet from either the White House or the Pentagon. So there is a lot of mystery surrounding his post and what exactly he means by that, Drew.
It's kind of sent shockwaves around the world. Do we have any idea of what actually led to this announcement?
So that is also unclear, but the announcement comes after Russia announced over the weekend that it had successfully tested 2 new weapons capable of carrying nuclear warheads. Now, these included a missile which the Kremlin said could penetrate U.S. defense systems and an underwater drone called Poseidon, capable of hitting the American West Coast and triggering radioactive ocean swells. But those tests did not involve the detonation of a nuclear weapon, and Russia has denied that it has carried out nuclear tests. But, from the president's Truth Social post, he said that other countries are doing testing, even though we know that only North Korea has done one in the 21st century. Trump also said that China's nuclear program will be even within the 5 years. And when he was asked about his remarks on nuclear weapons testing later, Trump suggested that they were not related to China. He said that it had to do with others, and he didn't really name any countries. But he also added that they all seem to be nuclear testing. So it's still unclear whether or not that is what led to the calculation from the president on the fact that the U.S. should now start doing this once again after 33 years, Drew.
Yeah, it's not totally out of the blue. President Trump's former national security advisor during the 2024 campaign said the U.S. did need to conduct new nuclear tests. What is the argument in favor of this?
That's right. So those comments came from Robert O'Brien, who's the ex-advisor to President Trump. And he wrote earlier this year that in order to counter China and Russia's continued investment in their nuclear arsenals, the U.S. should test new nukes. Now, he believes that China has doubled the size of its arsenal since 2020, which, in his opinion, is a massive, unexplained and unwarranted expansion, and that the United States has to maintain technical and numerical superiority to the combined Chinese and Russian nuclear stockpiles. And he said that basically the only way to do that is that Washington must test nuclear weapons for reliability and safety in the real world for the first time since 1992, and not just by using computer models, because he feels that that's the only way to deter Russia and China.
Is that worry and that concern a mainstream idea among military strategists and nuclear weapons experts?
Well, Trump's comments have made waves, and the community is split on this front. Many experts believe that if the U.S. resumed testing, it would only make it easier for Russia and China to resume nuclear testing and catch up as well. And this was pointed out in the Kremlin statement. The Kremlin said that the United States had not notified Russia of its intention to conduct nuclear weapons testing. But the message is clear from the Kremlin. Spokesman Dmitry Peskov said that the U.S. is a sovereign country which has a right to make its sovereign decisions, but highlighted President Putin's statement that he's made multiple times that if someone departs from the moratorium, Russia will act accordingly, which would suggest that if the U.S. was to resume testing nuclear weapons, Russia would do the same, Drew.
You're kind of answering my next question here, but there has been a lot of concern from those in the nuclear non-proliferation community. What are they saying?
That's right. There's a lot of concern after President Trump's statement because, the non-proliferation community believes that this would just lead to another arms race. This would lead to all countries starting to test nuclear weapons because of this one move by the United States. There is also concern from Democratic senators as well as those in the local communities, like in Nevada, which was the location of the last test in 1992 that the U.S. undertook. And there has been significant concern from them them as well. Now, we know that, this is a highly unpopular idea, but we have yet to determine exactly what the president's statements mean on testing nuclear weapons. And so the reaction is still muted on that front, but a lot of concern already from military experts as well as Democratic senators, Drew.
In that post on True Social, President Trump said that Russia is far behind the U.S. with its nuclear weapons technology, but China is catching up. What do experts say about the balance of power in nuclear weapons capabilities?
That's right. So the president in his Truth Social post that the U.S., had nuclear warheads. We know that Russia has, at least according to estimates from, think tanks, we know that Russia has a little over 5,500 nuclear capable missiles, and the U.S. has around 5,200. We know China is around 600, but there has been concern that they've doubled their nuclear arsenal in the last few years and will slowly reach that 1,000 mark in terms of the number of nuclear capable weapons they have. Now, there is a smattering of other countries who also have nuclear warheads. We know India has 170, Pakistan has 160. So, this might just lead to all of the countries kind of starting to ramp up their missile production, Drew. So a lot yet unknown because we don't know the exact estimates of how many, the exact number of nuclear warheads a country have, but these are the estimates that are well found in the community, Drew.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the U.S., if it carried out this, would be going along with at least the spirit of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty that the U.S., in fact, signed back in 1968, which called for countries to try to decrease their arsenals of nuclear weapons over a period of time. But for now, let's leave it at that. Sarakshi Rai, thanks so much for your time.